Hi guys, and welcome to a day in our life. On this particular morning, it was a Monday, so we were just catching up on the weekend. Here we have a bunch of eggs that we collected the night before, and I'm just putting them in cartons and getting them prepped to hand them out or give them out to friends and family. But today I take you through a little bit of what I do on a regular basis, and then also some of what I do that is outside of what I do on a normal day. And by that, I mean there are a lot of things that you can probably tell from all the footage, but you can see a lot of things sort of not in any particular place or stacks of boxes or clothes or whatever. And that's all stuff that I need to work on getting stored and put away. And slowly but surely, every day I make a dent, but it is very slow. So on this particular day, my grandma and my younger sister come over and they help me out. So that was really nice of them.
I made you some coffee. Nope. This is where we struggle with screen time. Nope, you guys have train tracks over there. You guys have plenty of toys. Oh, So, with screen time, I am not opposed to it. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I do want to find better shows for them to watch. They mostly get on YouTube, and we start with trains. A lot of times it's like actual steam engine trains that people just film and put a compilation up, and they like watching that for a bit. But then it'll turn into like monster trucks, and then slowly we get into like the kind of new animated there's like some monster trucks that you can tell it's somebody made it, like it's not a I don't even know how to say it. It looks like somebody made it on their computer. It's just like very the animate, like the cartoon is not like super high definition or quality, like it looks pixelated and stuff. Anyways, they like watching monster trucks, and my youngest likes to watch there are a lot of almost like ASMR videos of train assembly or Thomas the Train. Like, I don't know who these people are. It's awesome. It's great for me because he likes watching it, but they have a bunch of like Thomas the Train stuff, and they'll unbox it and like play with it a bit, and then they'll move to the next one and stuff. And they like watching those a lot of times. The only problem is then we start kind of going deep into rabbit holes, and I don't want that because for one, they're way too young to be exploring that. And things pop up. I mean, even for us as adults, you get the occasional random or crazy, outlandish video. Even if you're not watching it, like the algorithm just kind of shoots it up in front of you, and you just have to like skip it. I know for my account, I can say like don't recommend either this channel or this video. Hey, what are we doing? But yeah, on his tablet, we don't have an actual account on my son's tablet, which he just uses occasionally. So the YouTube is just, it's just videos that, similar videos that he's watched before will pop up on the main page. But then you get, like I said, those random, outlandish, crazy ones.
All right, guys, so I hope I explained myself well enough in regards to the screen time. I am not opposed to it, neither is my husband. I just don't want them to be so reliant or addicted to having to watch TV or being on their tablet or on one of our phones. I had noticed that they were asking for it a lot, and I think that me being home now, and starting a routine and not automatically going to turning on the TV first thing in the morning has helped them sort of detox. But of course, we still do allow for some screen time. So it's not a complete no, absolutely not. Um, I am a complete advocate of, if it's helping you as a mom or as a parent to be able to accomplish things and be more successful during your day, then use it. But I don't abuse it, I guess. But, I know that every family, every parent, every child is different. So this is not to push my ideas about how I view screen time. And I hope that you don't feel pressured or you don't feel like I'm being judgmental in any way. It's just, for me, even for me, it just feels wrong to sit down and watch, you know, hours of TV in a row and have no productivity. So, um, but moving on from that, here I did want to do a, I did want to add in my regular me talking like live that in there, but it just gets a little convoluted. And then also with the audio, you guys end up hearing a lot of, I did turn on the TV for my kiddos, and so you hear a lot of the background noise of that, and it's just not going to work. So it's a bit distracting. So I'm just talking about how my plans are to move and reorganize our home, move things to the back rooms where we are essentially, we do have a purpose for them. So one of them is going to be an office slash guest room, where I think further along in the video, I do explain it to be the office, and then the other one is a guest room. But we are using office guest room together, and then the other one's the nursery slash storage. And so that's kind of how we have found it to be the best for our life. Actually, today, this is now Tuesday, and we bought a queen mattress. We have the like the base. We already had the base for it, so we just bought the mattress and some bedding. And tonight, we used it as a fun activity with the boys, and we set all of that up. And so it's all back there in that office slash guest room. And yeah, so I just keep explaining about my plans. There's a lot of stuff in our bedroom that I need to move out and I need to find a home for. But it's that sort of, it's so much that I need to do it little by little, or else I get so overwhelmed that I just don't even do it. So, um, I have since moved a lot of things, but everyday life chores are also a thing. Um, I like vacuuming every day because of our pets and our kids, and we live in a rural area, so it's a lot of dirt and rocks and all that good stuff. So I like to be vacuuming and dusting, obviously having to wash dishes on the regular. I like to stay on top of dishes. Um, Laundry too. I have not yet gotten to doing one load a day, but I do, once I get a better routine, feel like a load a day sounds really reasonable. And I think that that will help me. So that way it's not like I have to wash, um, 3 or 4 loads and also fold and put away 3 or 4 loads, but rather it's just one every day. And so it's more manageable and easier to tackle. Um, so that's sort of my day. Like I had mentioned, my grandma and my sister did come. My grandma has a hard time thinking of me being so pregnant and having to walk to our garage which is where our washer and dryer are at to do laundry. So, and she really enjoyed doing laundry when she used to live with us here. She enjoyed doing our boys' laundry. And then she eventually started also to complete, like, to have a complete load. She would also grab some of our laundry, which was a little embarrassing at first, but obviously, like, grandma is, there's no embarrassment there. You just got to let her do what she's going to do. So they did come over, and then my little sister, or my younger sister, she helped with the boys, and they love their titi, is what they call her. They were distracted. She played with them. She played some music, and they were dancing, and so they had a fun time with them here. And I think that's why they had such a hard time taking their nap that day. It was almost like I thought my oldest was not going to nap, but it's not um it's not on the regular that my grandma and my sister come over. So it was something different for them. They were excited, they were full of energy. They had been snacking a lot and eating and running around wild. So I can see why it took my oldest just a little bit longer to um to fall asleep. But the naps too, and I can touch on this in another video if you guys even care to hear about it. I will touch on it just because it's my life, but we are pretty, I don't want to say strict, but we have a really good routine with naps and bedtime. So my boys still take one nap a day, and bedtime is a routine. We do give them a bath pretty much every night unless we have something crazy going on where it's just not feasible to give them a bath that night. But and that's not for us to feel any better or like we think that that is the best option for a bedtime routine or whatever, but it's just what has worked for us, and that's why we do it. And with the nap situation, I basically just put them in their room, give them their blanket, and they, through talking and chatting and sometimes jumping around a little too much, but they eventually soothe themselves and fall asleep. And um, I don't know if this is good, bad, or whatever, but they do sleep pretty much 2 hours every day for their nap, which is consistent. And that feels really nice for me because I know that I at least have time. Even if it was an hour, at least I know that I would have an hour to do something that I can't do when they're awake. And you would think that even with like screen time, TV, a tablet, you would be able to fully devote time to cleaning or fully do something that you want to do for yourself. But it's not like that. And I don't know if other kiddos are like this. I'm sure they are. But my kiddos want to be involved so much. So if they're watching TV and they don't see me within like 3 to 5 minutes, or hear me in the background, they're going to be asking me, what am I doing? Where I am. The little one asked me to come sit down. And although I want to do all of those things and I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to bond with my kiddos, I also know realistically that I have to get things done and I can't sit around all day. I can't just play with them all day. There's a time and a place for everything. So we do devote time to just completely sitting there, playing with them and interacting with them, reading with them, and all that good developmental stuff. But I also have to be realistic because I am, yes, their mom, but also a housewife and a home maker. And so I have to also be able to delegate time to do all those things. So I know that there are some parents that might be like, no, just stop and smell the roses. And I get that aspect of it, but I also understand myself. And I think each of us needs to work with how we are and what we've got. And that way we don't fall apart trying to be something that we're not, or trying to fit in a mold that we're just not meant to fit into. So that's sort of my 2 cents. Um, but yeah, I continue to just ramble on. I think at one point in this video, right there, I was like dying, coughing. But at one point in this video, I think I tell you guys how this time where I sit down and I just talk to you guys, and I mean, really, I'm talking to my phone, to the camera, but it's me having like that outlet that I need, because the reality is that most days I am stuck at home with my 2 kiddos and I don't get out. It sounds crazy because I know there's a lot of moms that devote time to, we're going to take a trip, we're going to go to the library, or we're going to go to the park, or we're going to do this and that to get out of the house. But realistically, with me being pregnant and being so big, and trying to load 2 toddlers, not just loading them up in the car, but the whole thing before of getting them dressed, having them pay attention, getting all the snacks, the water, the everything else, just thinking about it is exhausting. Actually doing it too is, oh my gosh, a whole nother thing. So this is my time to talk to you guys and to have sort of like this, not vent or therapeutic session, but just this moment to allow myself um, to talk and speak and chat, and hopefully you guys find it interesting. But of course, in this one, with all the noise in the background and everything else, I just couldn't leave it in there. So
I'm gonna pause this really quick. Um, I don't know what people use for vitamins, but the main reason I got these ones is because it's in a powder form. So we can pour it in like their milk or their juice. It says oatmeal, pudding, soft, solid options, and they don't have a flavor. They smell like powder, obviously. It's not like they're completely without like a smell. But we have these ones for my 2-year-old, and then I have one for my almost 4. It says 4 and up, 4-year-old. So we already started giving him that one. But this one is good because of that. Because my 2-year-old will not take gummies. He doesn't like candy. And that's not being braggy or being like, I would like to give him like some gummies, even like a candy here and there. He won't really take it. He doesn't like gummies. He will especially not like the ones that are like chalk that you have to like suck on and them to dissolve in your tongue. You came over here to watch with brother. So this is what I use, and they're none the wiser. So just in case you have a picky eater or one that doesn't really want to take vitamins, this is a good brand.
All right, guys. So just a quick reference of what time of day it is. This is still the morning time. Okay. We have all eaten breakfast at this point, but it's still morning. My grandma, I believe my grandma and my sister showed up around 10:30, maybe 11, and they haven't showed up yet in all this footage. So just as a reference, I make this joke a lot with like my husband and with friends, but I do feel like I live 9 lives before my kids' nap time because it's just the minutes and the hours are just so slow and so much happens in between. I'm sure I'm not the only mom that goes through that, but it's insane. Okay, so now we're in my bedroom. This is that area that I had mentioned before that is just kind of storage and storage. All of this stuff needs to be moved. A lot of these boxes need to be put in the garage. Um, Here you see some like Christmas gift wrapping stuff. I have a lot of my um, postpartum stuff too that I need to organize and put away. Here I'm getting my electrolytes going because I was feeling kind of parched by then. And I do believe that at this point my grandma and sister had left. My boys were in their room napping, and I was working on folding all of the laundry that had been washed. Sorry, that had been washed. So here I have one basket of clothes, um, and there was two more in the room behind me. So now we're just getting ready to go see the chickens. That's one thing. I've watched a lot of videos with a lot of chicken content and homesteaders or moms that film themselves feeding their chickens and stuff, and everything's done in the morning. And I totally get that because I used to go out super early in the morning, and that was our routine. Well, my routine, and my husband's, to go and feed our chickens in the morning, make sure everybody was good. Um, but the way we have our setup now, we have, um, I don't know exactly how big, but let's just say a 5 gallon container of water and about the same size for food or for their feed. So those are full at all time. We definitely check it to make sure that it's not getting gross or anything um, here and there, but that's full at all time. The reason that we go out in the evenings, afternoon, evening time, is because even though we live on 2 acres and we have like a big field and the chickens and goats have a big area to walk around and scratch around and do all their thing. Um, our chickens still eventually wander off and sometimes go into neighbors' yards or they go to the front of the house. If you've owned chickens, you know that their poop is really smelly, gross, and it's terrible to step in it. So, in order to minimize how much free ranging they do, we let them out for about, you know, between 2 and 4 hours before they put themselves to sleep. Um, and that's just kind of what's worked for us. I know it seems a little backwards. People go to check on their chickens in the morning. We have a really nice um, sort of, our coop is set up to where in the mornings when my husband goes out and he leaves for work, he can see that they're up and he can go check on the chickens. Of course, if we're not going in there, we don't know if there was a predator in there or if something went wrong or if a chicken is dead. But thankfully, we haven't had too much happen. Um, We have had things happen, but not too much. And this routine just simply works for us. Um, and we also put out there the all that like compost and scratch, not scratch, but food leftovers that we collect. We put it out in the evening when we go out to check on them, and they're really good at, because we put it out daily. They're really good at eating it up, so that way predators are not enticed to come um, eat it up. The only thing that is a little funky and weird is that their eggs do sit out there. So let's say if they did happen to lay in the morning or like the evening before, they do sit out there until the next evening. But we have noticed, or at least I have noticed this being since being home, that our chickens start like making their squawking or whatever noises that they're laying their eggs around noon. So I don't think that we would have very many eggs in the morning if we went to check every every single morning. So this is the system that works for us. Maybe this is way more than you guys care to hear about chicken content, but this is my life. This is what I have. And we have an overabundance of chicken eggs, which is great. Um, I will take any tips and advice and tricks for dealing with chickens in the winter. We have had chickens for 3 years now, so we have had them for um, at least 2 winters, and they've done just fine. But what I'm more referring to is their egg production during the winter. I realize that they might not produce very well because it's cold and all of that, but I know I've heard that people say that they can still lay eggs um, consistently uh, in the winter, so long as you equip their coop or maybe changing something in their environment. So, if you guys have any tips and tricks on that, please let me know. I know I have the internet and ChatGPT and all of that, but it's always better to hear from real life experience. So, if you have any tips, I'm all ears. Please let me know. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned this. I feel like I have, but again, I don't know what I've put up and what I've just filmed and not deleted. Um, but honorable mention is our two goats. They are Nigerian dwarf goats. The darker one is Muddy Buddy, and the lighter one is Snickerdoodle. Snickerdoodle had his name when I bought him, but Muddy Buddy had a different name, and I didn't really like it, so we changed his name. Those guys, they are just ornery and they get into everything. They love to get into the chicken coop, so that's another reason why we tend to keep it shut throughout the day, is because the goats do get in there and eat their feed and eat their little block of like extra nutrients and stuff. Uh, that's meant for the chickens. The goats will eat it. So that's mainly why we also keep the coop closed until you know, a short period before nighttime, just to keep those um, darn goats out of there. All right, guys, and this is pretty much towards the end of the video. I also wanted to make this a me chatting with you. Um, at this point, I came in from outside from being with the chickens and the boys. They were still out there, uh, but I had to start on dinner. So I was just mentioning that and thanking you guys so much, truly, for sticking around. If you made it through this whole video, you are amazing. Um, I do love long form content. I like short form content, but this one was just one of the longer ones. So I really appreciate you if you did stick around. I hope you guys let me know what you guys want to see more of or hear more of. I know that another reason why I don't like to just talk to the camera and put that in the video is because of my heavy breathing. I'm so sorry, but I am super pregnant, and just being my third, I feel like it has affected my breathing has been affected a lot more. It might also be because I was sick a couple weeks back, and I'm struggling with that cough and sneezing and all of that still. But thank you if you stuck around. You guys are amazing. You guys deserve everything that you want and wish and desire for. Um, I do want to add more stuff about my faith, my devotionals, and all of that. But on this particular day, I got to what I got to, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So, you guys have a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Just really quick before the cool music comes on for the end of the video, I do a lot of really aggressive gestures. Like, I've noticed that I scratch my head, my scalp a lot. Sorry. I promise you I have a clean scalp. I also like itch my nose really harshly. I make a lot of funny faces. So I'm not apologizing like, oh my gosh, please don't judge me. But if it looks really aggressive, it's how I am.
I just thought of this, but I feel like I should put a little counter or tracker on how many times I do those really aggressive gestures. But okay, that's all. Bye.